Let's take a look at the three parties to every real estate transaction. It affects every real estate transaction. Here we go. Number one, the market. Okay. And each one of these has three subpoints, by the way. The market. So the number one thing about the market is, the economy. So how is the economy doing? Is it doing bad? Is it doing good? Is what's going on with the economy? And directly related to that is interest rates. Okay, interest rates. So how much do we need to pay for a mortgage in order to buy a home? 85% of people don't pay cash. They use a mortgage of some type. So the majority of people use a mortgage. So interest rates are a big deal. That's the marketplace. Okay, I'll put in rates there. And then 3 is the competition. Okay. Who is the competition? What are we up against? That is the market. Okay, these three things are the market. Now, one of the things that I wanted to point out here is, and it's really important, is these three things we cannot control. We cannot control the economy, we cannot control interest rates, and we cannot control the competition. Okay, so, but yet they're a party to every real estate transaction. Those three things we cannot control. So number 2, the seller. So the seller. Now let's look at 3 sections underneath the seller. Okay, what does the seller contribute in the party to the transaction? Okay, number 1 is the condition of the home. Okay, how does it look? How has it been prepared? Those sorts of things. That's an important thing. The seller does that. Okay, we'll get into what the agent does here shortly, but it's still the seller has to get it done. Okay, I have done some touch-up painting and some cleaning, by the way, on occasion, but as a general rule of thumb, I won't clean or paint your house. Okay, just so you know, but I might help. So number 2 on that is the terms. The terms, okay? What type of mortgage? The term might be, I want to close at a certain time. The terms are really important because it dictates how big of a pool of buyers you're going to be looking at or you're going to be exposed to. Number 3. All right, the list price. What will the home be listed at? That is a really important thing, and the seller controls that. Okay, we're going to talk about that a little bit more here, but does the seller control the list price? Kind of, but what really controls the list price in many respects? The economy, the interest rates, and the competition. What are they competing against? That's really important to know. So if you don't know what you're competing against, for instance, I'm a really fast runner if I am running with 5-year-old children. Is it possible that there could be a lot of competition at one point in time if I'm doing a CVBA, which is a cost versus benefit analysis on with a seller, and I'm talking to the seller, I'm talking about when do they want to sell. So the seller controls the condition, the terms of the sale, and the list price. A lot of powerful stuff. So what's the third party? You guessed it, the agent, okay? And this would be the listing agent, okay? So what does the agent do or control? Well, the number one thing that the agent controls or does is the marketing plan, okay? How are you going to market my home? I get asked that question all the time. How are you going to market my home? So a marketing plan has to be geared towards the buyer. Who is the giant pool, and how are we going to get that largest bucket of people to be interested in your home? Because the more people that are interested in the home will cause the sale. It will cause the sale when we do that, okay? Real estate agents don't sell houses. They cause sales, and they do some other stuff, okay? But one of the other things that I do is I negotiate. Negotiation is super important. Why? Because you want to be in a higher position when you're negotiating. Because negotiating from a lower position, home has been on the market for a while, probably needs a price reduction, maybe isn't the greatest condition. You're not going to have a lot of strength in that negotiation. Hi, Sandy. You're not going to have a lot of strength in that negotiation, so you have to negotiate from, let's say, some level of weakness, okay? So good negotiation in many respects is great preparation. How to prepare? So when we talk about preparing a home, that I do a lot of this, okay? When we talk about, yes, it's the seller's job to prepare the home, but guess what? Sellers need advice. They need help to get that accomplished. And do I do that? I do it all the time. The average has been about 3 years. I talk to sellers, literally talk to them for 3 years sometimes. Not every day, that would be creepy, but multiple times throughout that process, they're wondering about, is it worth it to do this, or should I do that? And what it really boils down to is that is part of the market preparation to get your highest and best value. Something that's important to remember is competition, okay, always has to be continually evaluated. What if, a few days after or a few days before a house goes on the market, there's like a neighbor's house that's very similar, and it goes on the market. Are we interested in that listing? Yes. Can we control what price it's at? No. What if that listing, sadly, is being sold by a seller who really just wants to be done there? It's like a fire sale, and maybe it's not in a very good condition. Given everything else equal, we have to look at the competition. We're constantly evaluating the competition. It's like taking a selfie when you're in a car. You're waiting for the right moment when you have that bridge behind you, or that snow behind you, or that tree behind you, or your chin looks just perfect when you're taking a selfie. It always has to be adjusted. Excuse me. It always has to be monitored. Okay, what is going on with the marketplace? What is our competition? Well, the agent also deals in deal support, okay, or life support. Life support or deal support. The deal getting done and the machinery of it getting done. Inspection issues, appraisal issues, timing issues, flies in the ointment, partial things that weren't discussed fully and they seem like they're a surprise, or like there's some sort of deal support. Life support is where a lot of that stuff happens. So an agent with good follow-through, an agent with that's thoughtful, that actually thinks of things in advance, is extremely good to have. What I'm getting at here is the three parties that are involved in a transaction have to work together. There have to be clear expectations. There has to be clear lines of communication, because those parties, and by the way, the market doesn't speak, but it speaks to us. We need to pay attention to the marketplace. All buyers are looking at three things. They're looking at price, location, and condition. And they have to give up one of them. Maybe even two, but most of the time they only have to give up one. For instance, if they have an enormous amount of money, they can get a great location and they can afford the price, okay? So they're going to get a great location, a great condition, and a great price. So if they don't have a lot of money, that's one area they're restricted. So they want to get the nicest home they can, in the nicest condition they can, in the nicest location they can for the buck. All buyers look at price, condition, and location. Why? because that's what really matters. I mean, yeah, location, 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 but it's location, location, location if I can't get a good deal, or if I can get a good deal, or what condition is it in. Maybe you're a fixer-upper kind of person. Maybe you love a project. And by the way, I deal with these sorts of things too. I feel like a marriage counselor at times, but sometimes the people, most of the time husband and wife, but a lot of times they could fight and they could be like kind of passive aggressive about it. Maybe they are saying that they want one thing, but they really want another. That's one of the reasons why new constructions are so popular at times, because it's brand new. The highest price that your home will receive is usually the closest to the first day it's on the market. What I'm saying is, given everything else equal, there's this launching effect that needs to happen with a home when it goes on the market. And that would include conditions, terms, pictures, preparation, things like that. All of that's super important. And it's really important because as time goes on, as Zillow and Realtor.com and all these different websites, your listing, your home, that seller's home will get less and less attention because it's always looking for the new shiny penny to attract the buyers who are looking for better price, better terms, or better location. What is the condition of the home? Because, terms and list price, these are very, very important, but it really boils down to one of the variables that we can control is the condition of the home. How does it look? How does it look? Because if we look better than the competition at that moment and our price is about the same, boom, we're going to more than likely cause an offer to come. We're going to cause that offer to come because we have prepared the condition of the home. We have an open amount of terms that we're willing to accept. But more importantly, our list price is appropriate based on the economy, interest rates, and the competition. So one important thing to understand, it's not the comparables that get you. Meaning, when you're looking at the value of a home and you're saying to yourself, so when you're looking at the value of a home and an agent says, hey, your home is way nicer than all these, okay? And they've sold, and your home is worth 10% more. Given no other information, it's possible they could be telling you that because they want your listing, and they are giving you an unrealistic expectation of how much it's worth. I have seen that in my long career in real estate. I have also seen sellers, when they say, our home is worth this much, our home is worth X, Y, Z, and they kind of tell me the moment I walk in the door. And I would say, and I will say, and I do say all the time, well, we need to take a look at the competition. What has the competition, reasonable competition, reasonable preparation, reasonable location, how have those sold? And how long ago did they sell? And we need to analyze that, okay? Because that puts us in the right position to do our marketing plan to the highest amount of people who were most likely to purchase your home. One thing that's really important to remember when you're pricing a home, okay, the list price of a home, this marketing plan is the bait. It brings in buyers. Okay, what kind of bait? Is it a succulent, juicy, wonderfully prepared, tasty worm? Or is it an old, dilapidated, dead minnow? What I'm getting at is that when we have not such great bait, the price becomes more important. Meaning, if our bait isn't really good, if the home isn't prepared really good, it's going to be hard for us to stand firm and negotiate a strong price. Quick question for you. Are you curious about the value of your home? If you are, I have just the thing for you. Just scroll down below where you're watching the video right now, and then where you'll see free market value report. And you click on that link right there next to it, and it will go to this website, which is my website. You'll type in your address, and then you'll push that green button. It will ask you for your email address, and then it will send you an email, and it will be an automated valuation of your home. The only other person who knows that you did it is me, and I'll keep it quiet. I will send you a thank you, however, but other than that, no one else will know.